Okay, everybody, we are back. If game, baby. It's like the seventh game of the Cup, seventh game of the World Series. Anything can happen here at the 2021 SSA, Playing for Peace Class B National Championship Tournament. And we got a little deja vu. It's Joel Alejandro, who called tails and won the flip for the first championship game, called the flip for the second game, changed to tails, and he won that flip as well. So Meatball City is home, and they're going to go the same lineup how they finished with Kevin Sherman on the hill. Kevin did a good job when he came in, had one rough inning in the sixth, but other than that, he did a nice job. And Future's only change is they're going with 10 hitters as their right fielder got a little dinged up. So they're going to be hitting 10 this game. So here's the leadoff guy, Johnny, and we're underway live from Bulger Park in Melrose Park, Illinois for this if game national championship. Ground ball up the middle, and again, they hit it to the second baseman. And again, that's the problem with Donnie Cusper not pitching. Kevin Sherman, normally a second baseman, and now they're just going to go put Tommy Nugent over there trying to kind of protect him. Brings up Kevin, the short center. And that was good thinking. If you're a Future and they don't move that short center, you got to go after the second baseman. There's a little flare. That's going to drop. Johnny is flying, and now Majerus falls down. First run of the game, 1-0 Future. So he walked the dog down the left field line. Majerus had a little problem. He fell down. That allowed the base runner to score. Stand-up double, 1-0 Future. Brings up Sean, the first baseman. Now, Carlos is a little different, Castleberry behind the plate, than Mike Lewis. And there's a line drive base hit. And they're going to score the second run of the inning. First three hitters, 3 hits and 2 runs here as the Futures come out the little fire in their belly. And here's the shortstop, Anthony. But again, they did jump up 3-0 in that first championship game, and then they had a horrific third inning. Now, Carlos Castleberry's strike zone's a little different. He'll give you what we call the cross. And there's a high fly ball, and the base runner's going to tag. Play at second, a lot closer than you would think for the distance that ball got hit. And now he's down. There was an awkward slide. He slid awful late, kind of got jammed up into the base. And now the second baseman is laughing. He tagged the runner. And he was asking Mike Lewis, did you call time? Of course he did. So 2 in, runner on second with 1 out. And here's Ryan. So again, 1 out here as we've had 3 hits and a sacrifice fly. And there's a hard ball up the middle. Nice play by the shortstop. Bad throw. Now we got, and he falls down. So the shortstop made a nice play. The first baseman looked like he jammed a finger. The runner at second. Sean was trying to get to third, and he face planted. And then he was out. And to be honest with you, even if he didn't, it would have been an interesting play now as the first baseman is trying to yank a couple of fingers. So anybody that tells you that this is a big ball and everything else, we see horrific hand injuries. And when you're a first baseman sometimes and you stretch out, so he's just making sure he's okay and he can catch the ball. We see a lot of first basemen with taped fingers and crazy looking knuckles like Dan Hampton of the Chicago Bears. So 2 outs, 2 runs in, brings up Bobby, the third baseman. So a couple of miscues in these 2 games here for future. That was just bad luck. And you could hear Joe Rogers telling his guys, look how deep Joel is playing. Now, Joel is very quick. In last game, Bobby launched a 3-run bomb into right center. Oh, and he swings and he misses. And now they get the base runner on the swing and the miss. The runner at first. But that's the 3rd out. It doesn't matter. There were 2 outs. So the question is whether the ball was tipped. If it was tipped, then it's just a foul ball, and the runner would be safe going back to first. If he completely missed it, but now they had a question, and so Carlos is saying even if he didn't have 3 strikes, he missed the ball, and so a couple of base running mistakes there. So he's telling Joe Rogers that he missed the ball. And so the base runner was out. And again, with 2 outs on the swing, the runner's going to run. That's what you do. So Carlos said he lost track. He forgot it was a 0-0 count. He had it at 2 strikes. But even at 1-1. Ball. So either way, here comes Jake Majerus here. Bottom of the 1st inning, 2-0. And now the question is, we got a little insight when we clicked off between streams, and apparently the injury that is the problem with Brad is he's having a forearm issue on his pitching arm. And Majerus sits back, just gets it over a jumping short center. He got a hand on it. Leadoff single, and here comes Meatball City. So it was a great effort by the short center. He's showing some hops. But Jake Majerus just sat back and pounded that ball up the middle. And here's Kevin Sherman. So here's a pitch. Called it illegal. Sherman went, and he's going to touch that ball over the left fielder's head. Wasn't much of a swing, but Sherman got it up there as they were taking liberties on Sherman. And he hits a triple to make it 2-1, nobody out. Here comes Mike Wiz. So again, Kevin Sherman has been kind of hitting the ball right over the infield, and that time stayed low, sat through the swing, got it up and over the left fielder's head. So right now, I think if you're future, and that'll be a sacrifice fly. And I like what the right fielder did there. You're not going to throw Kevin Sherman, or not too many runners at all, out from that distance. And he made sure he made the catch. A lot of times guys will want to show off the arm, and they're in a hurry to catch and release, and they drop the ball. So again, here comes Anthony. We know he's struggling with the leg injury, so you got to kind of remind yourself on the infield, you got all kinds of time, and you got to stay with it. Good, Brad. And he takes that ball. And there's a sky-high pop-up. Shortstop on a run, won't get there. So new life for the hitter as he mishits a ball, and he's been barreling up pretty much every time we've seen this kid swing, both last night when we did their game and so far the championship game today. He's just been hitting rockets. So, again, a little misfortune if you're a future when you get a kid who's red hot and he mishits it and hits that right to the shortstop. And, again, a lot of time. And that'll be the second out of the inning. Brings up Joe. So we're 2-2 here in the bottom of the first inning of the if game. They got the wrong inning on the scoreboard. So Brad has not been pinpoint, but so far in this game he is throwing strikes, and he pounds that right over the base. And there's going to be no play at second. Stand up 2-out double as he hit it right over this white base here. So again, Meatball City has shown a propensity to hit with 2 outs. This is going to bring up Emilio. So again, I think if you're future, you don't want to have deja vu. You'd like to get out of here at 2-2 and get back up there and hit. Again, the winner, this is for all the marbles. Both of these teams have already guaranteed themselves paid entries into the 2021 Class A Glove National Championship. The SSA runs out in Carroll Stream in mid-August. But they don't want to settle for that. They want the national championship. Other teams earning the paid bid, crushed third place, primetime fourth, and delegation and fundamentals tied for fifth. And there's a ground ball to the shortstop, a little pitch and catch. So they get out of it at 2. So as we head to the top of the second, 2-2 in the 2. And again, Meatball City showing you they can swing a little bit. See the scoreboard there, 2-2-2. If you're at a slot machine and they're wild, you got yourself a nice hand. Again, the live stream sponsored by Napleton Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lansing. A couple of our other sponsors, Let Us Entertain You Restaurants. Tito's Handmade Vodka, the America's original handcrafted vodka. Please drink responsibly. And Gold Rush Gaming, the naming rights sponsor for the SSA Major National Championship Tournament over Labor Day weekend. And I'll give you some more information. If you're a bar or restaurant looking to add slots, go with the gold standard in video gaming. And there's a ground ball. Second baseman turns and throws in time. Leadoff man, Bobby, is down. So call Kelly Sorrentino, 630-307-0500 to get started. You can also email them at support@goldrushgaming.com. Tell them you heard about them on the SSA, and please, gamble responsibly. We'll mention some of our other sponsors as we go. And there's a swing and a line drive base hit, 1-out hit. And the base runner will stop. So here comes Zach, 1-out base runner. And again, folks, when we mention these sponsors, please give them a chance to win your business. They're sponsoring us. They're helping us do the things we can do to grow this game and to bring you these telecasts. And there's a hard ground ball to the lefty. he pitches, Nugent will eat it. So that was an easy play because of the base runner. He would have had a big problem had there not been the short pitch. 2 outs now. Here comes Brad Moriarty, the pitcher. 2-2 game here in the second inning between the Future and Meatball City. This one is for all the marbles and is going to conclude this tournament. It's going to be interesting. I'm always curious, regardless of who wins it. And Brad Moriarty doing what he always does. And now they were going to throw behind. But again, we got a short center not on the base. And we've seen that a few times where there might have been a chance to throw behind guys, and the fielder hasn't been at the base. So it brings up the 11 hitter, Jack. His Future trying to break the tie, and they will. They're going to send him. He's going to score, and now Brad's going to lumber into third and a play at set safe. Again there, the second baseman went out like a cutoff man. They might have had a play, but he cut it off before it got to the short center. 3-2. Good hustle, second and third now. Here's a leadoff man, Johnny, a chance to drive in a couple of more, and he slaps it down the line. He's going to get it. Majerus is just going to throw it to second, a 2-out, 2-run double, and the Future jumps up now 5-2 as they put up 3 runs so far in this inning, if my math is right. Again, a 55-year-old Brad Moriarty hustled into third base, and that allowed the third run of the inning to sneak into second. And here's Kevin. So little 2-out hitting here by the Future, kind of returning the favor on Meatball City. And there's a pitch, a little deep. So Kevin has thrown some balls, and there's a line drive. The 6th run of the game is going to score another 2-out hit. We're seeing some great 2-out hitting in these 2 ball games. And now you got some of what I like to call the road graders coming up. So here's Sean with Anthony, the shortstop, coming up. So another good exhibition of 2-out hitting going on here. This time it's the Future. And it'd be interesting if they decided to take Kevin Sherman out, if they would go with Donnie Cusper again. Again, sometimes when you get a little different umpire in there, pitcher feels a little bit more confident, might feel that there's a little bit more space to pitch to. But I did see Donnie Cusper kind of flex a leg there, so I don't know. He might have a little bit of a hamstring issue as well. And there's a ground ball. Sherman eats it up. But in the inning, I believe it's four runs. I think it's 6-2. And I think Joe Rogers is going to go over there and tell him that he thinks it's 6-2. Now they put the 6 on the wrong side. So they'll get the scoreboard straightened out. Now they got 6-5, but it'll be 6-2 when they sort it out. So very nice job there by the Future team. And again, that's why when Meatball City had a chance to make that a mercy run in the first inning or in the first game, we talk about the fact that you don't want the Future team to feel good about it. And in between games, some of the Future guys were talking about the fact that they had one bad inning, but take that inning away and they actually outplayed Meatball City. So they were feeling a little better coming into this game. And right now, if you're Meatball City leading off as Nick Wiz, you kind of want to jump back in and keep scoring runs. Again, we're only in the bottom of the second, already having a lot of action going on. And again, if you're Brad, you know you got a bad forearm, so you don't want to get fancy. You just want to throw the ball over the plate and let them hit it. Let your defense work for you. Catches strike 2 there. And you can see, excuse me, Carlos Castleberry a little more generous on his strike zone. Now, when you throw a pitch like that bounces in front of the plate, you're not even giving yourself a chance. There's a ground ball. Shortstop picks it up, throw across, leadoff man down. Brings up Joel Alejandro, who had a very good first game. I was joking with Pops. What happened? I'm like, Joel is such a nice kid. What happened to Pops? Of course, I was just pulling his leg, but. And I see we got a few Alejandros checking out the game, so it's nice to see when your family and friends are checking you out. One out here, bottom of the second, 6-2 Future, leading Meatball City. Brad kind of rushed that. I think if you're Brad and you're having a forearm issue, you just kind of want to not rush and just take your time. And there's a 1-out walk. He's been closer, but he's still missing a little bit. And that's going to bring up Donnie Rollins. Got a huge hit in the middle of that big 12-run inning they threw up. And Donnie Rollins cracks me up. I've talked to him a couple of times over the weekend. Very polite kid. Can tell he really loves playing. And that's foul. And that's a good example there. You might have seen the third baseman pull his hands away. That ball had that English where you know it's going to fade. But if it goes over the bag fair and you touch it and the ball is in fair territory, when you touch it, even if it would have landed foul, that's a fair ball. So we see a lot of third basemen pull their hands away on a ball, and basically for 2 reasons. Fair foul is one. The other is that's a hard play on the line drive to reach out with one hand. So 2 outs, and here's Donnie Cusper. And again, in that first game, the 2-out hitting by Meatball City was spectacular. Well, Pops, I know when No Fear won, you had yourself a weekend. Not a day or two, but a weekend. Pops is my Ozzie Guillen of 16-inch softball. And there's a line drive. Shortstop took it off the chest, strong arm in time. So they get out of the second with no damage despite the 2-out walk. And we'll head to the third, 6-2. Future leading Meatball City. Now again, we've seen Meatball City hit. So if you're Future, you want to try to get as much separation as you can. And again, a lot of times when you come up and you're through the loser's bracket, you see the team play a real good first championship game, and then they get to the if game, and, you know, you expend so much energy to force the if game that, you know, then you got to crank it up a second time. It's very difficult. Because we actually do see a lot of teams, you know, unable to complete what we call the double dip. Whatever happened to Joe Lawless? And there's a ball a little deep here. As we got to shortstop Anthony. And he smokes a ball. Majerus was playing him deep. And it's a long, loud fly out. It's going to bring up Ryan with 1 out here. I believe it's the top of the third. I think they're an inning behind on the scoreboard. So Ryan going to try to start something here for Future. And now Future's kind of where Meatball City was in the first game, where you have a lead and you don't want to stop or sit on the number. You want to try to be relentless with the bats. And there's a line drive base hit. Okay, he can keep the number 21 for another game. Again, inside joke from the first game. It's going to bring up Bobby, the third baseman. Now there's a timeout. I think this is a little early, unless he's got a legit injury. Third inning is tough, and they are. They're gonna pinch run for him. So it's going to be Kyle. It's a little tough to pinch run because late you need his stick, and so sometimes when you pinch run early, you tie your hands later in a ball game. I was joking with Joe Rogers. He said a couple of my guys are a little dinged up. And I told him, well, he's got good-looking athletes. And it seems like the guys that are workout fanatics are the guys that get hurt all the time. And there's a rocket. Nice play by Rollins to knock it down. That ball was heading down the right field line and would have been big trouble. Rollins found a way to get to the line and get in front of it. But the runner at first does move to second. So 2 outs here. Brings up Joe. That's easier now that I know his first name. His last name's been killing me. So 2 outs. The pinch runner's going to probably score on a single. And he hits a humpback. Joel won't get to it. 7th run scores. He gets it in quick. And you might have heard Joe Rogers tell him your pull is open, as Joel was playing him a little deep, but that was a humpty. You're really not going to run over there and catch that unless you were playing him real tight. And brings up Zach now. So another 2-out RBI. And there's a little roller up the middle. The shortstop nips him at first. But the future scrapes a run across in the top of the third to go up 7-2 on Meatball City. So we head to the bottom of the third, 7-2. The future leading Meatball City. Long way to go in this one. Coming up here for Meatball City, I believe it's going to be Tommy Nugent, and then the top, Jake Majerus and Kevin Sherman. It's our pleasure, Pops. We love doing it. And we'll be out at the No Glove, starting with our coverage Tuesday night of the play-in. Again, we got Brick, Ballbusters, Fat Kids, and Traffic in the play-in game. We'll probably show you 2 of the 3 games that'll be played for the final slot in the No Glove. And there's a ground ball. Sorry, folks, that ball kicked right past me, hit the screen. I was trying to get small, but the runner couldn't advance on it. So it was hit right over the base. We've seen 2 or 3 balls actually hit right over the base. Leadoff man on. Here's Jake Majerus, the left fielder. Sorry about the crazy angle there as I was trying to avoid contact. And there's a high fly ball. That'll be caught. No tag by Nugent. Yeah, they're Tuesday, Pops. Not quite sure what time. I think they're going to start at either 7 or 7:15. We'll be on the air for the first ball game, and then we'll show you the. And there's a fly ball as he tries to beat the left fielder again. He catches it. Now he throws it in. The runner tagged. Nice running catch there. The left fielder said, "You fooled me once, not a second time." Sherman put a charge into it. But the left fielder, a pretty tall kid, looks like what I call a long strider, chewed up a lot of turf. So 2 outs, runner on second now for Mike Wiz. And we'll see here if Meatball City can continue the theme of these two games, which are 2-out RBIs. And there's a ground ball up the middle, picked up by the short center, and he throws it through the opening. So the short center was bobbling it, tried to throw across his body, and threw it through the opening. There's an opening on first base very similar to this one. The runner will go to second. Meanwhile, the third Meatball City run scores. And here comes the extra hitter, Anthony, as he re-enters the game. I take it back. I don't think they ran for Anthony his last time. So there's Pops' brother coaching third base. And I got to tell you, the playing games this year got 4 teams that are pretty solid. So that's going to be a fun night on Tuesday. If you're not doing anything, folks, head out there. There's a hard ground ball. Short center bobbles it. Now he can't seem to find the ears on it, but by knocking it down, he temporarily saves the run, 7-3. And here's Meatball City. Here's Meatball City now with 2 outs trying to have themselves another rally. And here's Joe playing second base due to the switching of positions. And he hits a high fly ball, and that's trouble. No one's going to get to that ball. 2 runs are in. And Joe hustles into third with a deep ball into left center field. 2-run score on the hit, 7-5 ball game. And here's Nick Wise, and again, both teams take it back. This is Emilio. But both teams having trouble getting that third out. It's been kind of a common thread in both of these ball games. Good pitch, Brad. That's why you can't sit on a number in these games. They change quickly. And when you got young teams, they have lots of energy. And there's a line drive, and that's a fair ball, 7-6. And Emilio is going to hustle into second with a 2-out double. So 2-out hitting has been the story of these 2 ball games. Brings up Nick Wise, and you saw Joel run in because he's on deck, and Jake Majerus is going to take over as a third base coach. So again, there's a high fly ball. Center fielder got a beat on it, and he makes the catch. But in the inning, Meatball City throws up a 4. Lots of damage with 2 outs. What else is new? So you see the fans here enjoying a good ball game. Is it exciting enough for you guys? Yeah, okay. You know, I thought maybe you would have preferred a blowout or something like that. No, okay. So this is back and forth. It's turning into an interesting ball game at 7-6. And here comes Future with Brad, Jack, and then the top with Johnny. So I also like what Joe Rogers did. He cut his lineup down to 10. think that was a product of his right fielder getting slightly dinged up. But I think, the way you got to approach it as a manager um, is if you're going to hit 11, you want all 11 guys to be swinging good. And so if you go to 10, you get to the top a little faster. And a lot of times the team that gets to their top more than the other tends to be the team that wins those games. And Brad hits a line drive, and third baseman Nick Wise got two hands on it. They bounced off of his hand, and it went right to the shortstop, Mike Wiz. So it was like a football tip drill, but it was a line drive. So Brad is shaking his head like, what else can go wrong for me today? But he smoked it. Just a good bounce. And here comes Jack, a little flare to center for the second out. So the future team they haven't really gotten a lot of good bounces go their way in either game. But they're hanging in there as this is turning into a crazy game. And there's a little strange swing. You don't see it too often. Johnny kind of walked up on it and just put the barrel out there and just let the barrel do the work. Johnny, pick me up. Yeah, you can say that was a whiz-whiz play. So here comes Kevin, the short center. 2 outs here again. First 2 outs happened easily, and we see a 2-out single. We'll see if they can string it together here. And there's a little flare. Jake Majerus slides and makes the catch and holds on for the third out of the inning. So we're going to head bottom of the fourth, 7-6, future leading Meatball City here. The if game of the 2021 SSA Playing for Peace Class B National Championship game. The winner will be the national champion. Again, we are live from Melrose Park at Bulger Park. Live streaming you from SSA Softball. Best 16-inch softball coverage in the country. And again, the SSA is where the national champions play. Again, live stream sponsored by Napleton, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Lansing. We covered a couple of the sponsors. We'll get you a few more names here. Iron Horse Security, The Beacon Tap, Signature Transportation Group, Guaranteed Rate Affinity, and Matt Dozen. As Joel Alejandro going to lead off here. Bernie's Tap and Grill right across from Wrigley Field. A few folks in Iowa, Accurate Concrete, RH Home Improvement. And Joel swings and he squibs one. Seal Right Asphalt. Room for Kids, actually Brad Moriarty's company. Proline Door Systems. Rig Plumbing. And Joel swings and he hits a soft fly ball and left fielder makes the play. Kogan and Power, very good personal injury law firm. Bob Backus, the Keller Williams Premium Properties. Joey Casa from Circus, More Than Dogs, right outside of Guaranteed Rate Affinity Field. Lawler's Bar, Dockers in Fox Lake. Sherwin Williams in Westchester. McGaffer Saloon out in Forest Park. Here's Donnie Rollins. And he hits a line drive right over our head. Of course, right here in Melrose Park, the Taverna Division. Out in Carroll Stream, the Village Tavern and Grill. I'm told by the proprietor out there that for the Class A Glove National Championship tournament, he's going to have some coupons for us to distribute to the teams. Excellent food there. Of course, Joel Alejandro and Mago's Styling Cave. And Paul Wukish Quality Painting and Wallpapering. And Rollins hammers the ball at second, picks it up, makes the pitch and catch. So like I said, folks, support these people that support the game. Give them a chance to win your business. They do a lot for 16-inch softball and the SSA, and they're all great people to deal with. Here comes Donnie Cusper now. And he swings, and he drops it in front of the right fielder. You see Donnie really kind of skipping down that line, not running too good. Brings up Nugent. So they're going to let him run. I'm not sure that they do have one guy over there, I believe, on their bench, Cabs. But they're going to let Donnie run. So now with 2 outs, and the way Donnie is moving over there, he's kind of a base clogger. And if you're on the infield, you got to know you're going to have that short force out if you need it.
Couple of good ones, Brad.
Pops, I've been getting the same haircut since I was 10 years old. And it's a lot thinner than it used to be and a lot grayer. So here's Nugent. Takes a strike. So Brad has settled in. He had one horrific inning. Wind has kind of died down here, which is probably making it a little easier to throw a strike. And there's a ground ball, and he guides it through the hole, and you can see Donnie just getting the second now. I'm not sure he can score on a 2-out hit to a fielder. You heard the third base coach telling Donnie, if you got to blow it out, you're scoring. He does represent the tying run. And here's Jake Majerus. So again, both teams, little trouble getting that third out in an inning. And again, what you don't want to do is walk a guy where a guy with a bad leg can easily score even with the bad leg from third. So if you're Brad, you just want to throw a strike, and he's 3-0 now. So he's about to load the bases again. Grabs a strike there. We'll see if Jake is taken 3-1. No, he's swinging. He called illegal. Ball hit toward the gap. Center fielder makes the catch. So we're going to head to the top of the 5 in a 1-run game here for all the marbles. 7-6. And there's Pat Caputo. He's been out here helping us, working. Hall of Famer Pat Caputo. Also the proud father of Joey Caputo, who we're hearing through the grapevine might be injured. Of course, Joey, a great kid, but a lot of injuries in his career. But I know one thing. He kept Mudville out of a few Forest Park championship games. He was a highlight reel against us. Had the pleasure of coaching Joe 1 year in 04, and I'm going to say it. Yes, he played on Mudville. Back then, Joey was a center fielder, had a hose, had a little shoulder problem, moved to left, and was one of the best out there defensively. And I don't know what happened because he's such a nice guy. Oh, Caputo walked away. I was going to pull his chain a little bit. So here's the leadoff man. It's right at Joel. Oh, that ball dropped. That must have been hit on a seam because Joel got there, and all of a sudden he had to slam the brakes on and go down to a knee. So I got a feeling that might have been knuckling. So 1 out, here's the shortstop, Anthony. And all of a sudden, after a quick start in this game, runs are getting a little tight. There's a little miss hit. Majerus started back, and it drops. So Majerus took 2 hard steps back and couldn't recover. Again, Anthony's got a big swing, and he's a strong kid. So as an outfielder, sometimes when you see that, your first instinct is to go back. And the ball went straight up the elevator shaft and came down with a parachute and nestled very softly in front of him by about 3-4 feet. Here comes Ryan. Again, they pinch ran for him earlier. So we'll see what happens here. If they pinch run for him again, he'd be out of the game. And he smokes it. Nugent knocks it down. Everybody's going to be safe. Now, if they run for him, he's going to be out of the game. He says he's okay. He was moving quick down the line. It seemed like the problem he's had is after he hit the bag was trying to stop. And that's the problem. And again, he's swinging a good bat. You don't want to take him out. And that'll bring up Bobby. And they are playing him deep. And I tell you, if he can pull and hook something down that line, he's got a little real estate between Joel and the right field line. As he's been going toward the gap. And so Joel giving him a lot of space. And he did try to go down the line. Topped it. Foul out of play. So I don't know if his name, it's Lorenzo. I can't say it. They're calling him Zoe for short. So I'm just going to call him Zoe. I thought it was Joe. Lorenzo. Is that what that's supposed to be? All right. Well, that's easy. Lorenzo. Okay, there we go. Calling him Zoe for short. And he humps it right to the first baseman. Donnie Rollins got up, volleyballed it to himself for the third out. That ball goes in the outfield. Future would have picked up a run. Instead, we head to the bottom of the fifth, 7-6. So the game's starting to get a little short. We're going to start getting down to the nitty-gritty here pretty soon. And if I'm the Future, I'm not very comfortable up one run. There's the fearless leader, Frank Arenas, tournament director who's putting this event on. Walking with Pat Caputo, they might start the process of taking some of the banners down. Again, about 7:23 out here in Chicago. Kevin Sherman leading off. He'll be followed by Mike Wiz and then Anthony. And he swings there. This time he goes back to just hitting line drives after beating the left fielder one time over the top and flying out deep. He just took a little something off and threw a line drive down the left field line. And here's Mike Wiz. So again, 2, 3, 4 this inning, hitting for Meatball City. You'd like to go out with a lead heading into the top of the sixth. And there's a bullet right, and that's going to be a double play. So Wiz hit a rocket right at the short center, caught it in his gut, and Kevin Sherman was a good 25 feet off of the base. It was an easy lob back for the double play. Brings up Anthony. And I don't know what they're talking about. I do not believe that they ran for Anthony. Maybe they did. So with 2 outs here, they might be thinking about letting that pinch runner take the swing because they got nothing going on in order to save Anthony. So he's re-entering. 2 ways you can look at it. You could look at it like we've been scoring with 2 outs, but then Anthony would have to run. If you let that pinch runner take this swing, then you'd still have Anthony to hit and to be run for later in the ballgame. And again, if Anthony gets on and they decide not to pinch run for him, then you're in a situation where he's a base clogger. And coming up is Joe, who's been smoking the ball.
Good pitch, Brad.
Catches a strike there, full count. And this is a big pitch. And that pitch never had a chance. It was flat and illegal. So Anthony actually moving a little bit better there. This is a big decision here. He is the tying run, but you take his bat out of the game. You know, you're almost better off, especially with Brad's control problems, of letting the pinch runner take that swing. He might have walked. And that's going to do it. Anthony's going to be out of the game now, I believe. And Cavs is going to be right in the middle of your lineup in the 4-hole now. Now, this kid, Joe, has been pounding the ball. I think they're thinking if Joe gets another double here or a long stretch single, that Cavs is going to score. And with 2 outs, he's being very aggressive in his secondary lead. What he's got to worry about is getting too far out and having the catcher throw behind him. And again, if you're a base runner, always know whether your catcher is right or left-handed. Because a left-handed catcher can catch and throw in one motion. Right-handed catcher's got to turn his body. And if you're not paying attention and you don't know that, and there's a strike, 21. So Meatball City looking for a little more 2-out magic. And he skies a fly ball. The center fielder puts it away for the 3rd out. So Meatball City took a gamble there. They lose a very big stick. And we're going to head to the top of the 6th. 7-6. Future leading Meatball City in the if game. So Joe Rogers got young kids. He says, hang in there, I'll take you to Dairy Queen after the game. So that's pretty funny. So coming up here is going to be Zach. So my guy, Manny, got a little buttered popcorn for me, getting a little FaceTime. So he's like, I was kidding him. He brought it out late last night, and I was joking with him, could use some popcorn. He's like, I still got some. Of course, Manny and the crew did a great job with the food this weekend. As they had tacos out here, hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, your standard fare. And I'm not proud to admit that I tasted a little bit of everything. So leadoff hitter Zach here. Again, if you're the future, you want to try to get some separation. And there's a little roller to third. Wiz picks it up. Safe at first. Flying down the line. Zach, the center fielder, beats it. He looked like he was safe. I mean, Wiz did everything he could. Zach was just flying down the line. He's a center fielder. We know he can hit or run. And here's Brad Moriarty. His last time he hit a rocket to Wiz at third, and it deflected right to Wiz at short center or shortstop. So I'm sure Brad is thinking, what does he got to do to get a hit? Takes a pitch deep. Again, Brad is a pretty good hitter. And there's a little flare, and look at that, folks. So the last time he tried to power a line drive, this time he just hit a little pooch shot. I wouldn't call it a cut. Had the same effect as a cut. But he just took a little off his swing and just tapped it out there, and it brings up Jack, the 11 hitter. Now they're going to run for Brad. I believe that's only the first time. So he'll be able to re-enter the pitch. And I believe this is Joey pinch running. So here's Jack. He got a big hit in that 4-run inning when the future jumped up 6-2. So that's a ball inside. Again, Carlos will give you the cross. And when I say that, if you're standing on the third base side and you throw a pitch that lands a little bit outside of the plate, and there's a little chopper, this could be two. Throw to first, safe at first and third, no argument. Jack didn't hit it hard, but he did hustle. Now you got a little insurance run with one out, standing 60 feet away. And it brings up Kevin to short center. Now, if you're Kevin, you got one job in particular here, and that is you got to make sure 99 crosses the plate, because every run is big. As my guy Lane Neiman used to always say, 1 equals 2. Every run you score, they got to score 2 to overcome it. And again, he kind of started like he was going to swing, pulled his hands back. The runner on first didn't take the bait, so he didn't get too far off, and that's outside. And with Kevin coming up here, and he taking all the way, strike. Taking pitches is a fine line. And there's a ground ball. And the lefty tags, he tried to throw it right-handed and threw it away, but no advancement as it hit the screen. And I'll be honest with you, you see a lot of guys try to do the tag and throw. The problem there is he's a lefty, so he's trying to throw with his offhand there. And he threw it well wide to first base. You're better off pitching it to Nugent and letting him come across the bag and make the turn. So a run does score 8-6. And there's a ground ball to the shortstop. He throws a little high, but Rollins a big kid. But in the inning, they get some separation at 8-6. And we head to the bottom of the sixth. So we'll see. This has got the earmarks of as we call, a fantastic finish. Again, the first game got away from Future because of that 12-run third, which featured 4 or 5 walks in it and some good 2-out hitting. As that inning, with all the damage, was after 2.
Joey, ball.
And here comes Emilio, who'll be followed by Nick Wiz and then Joel Alejandro.
Good start, Brad.
And there's a strike. So I was talking about the cross. If you're on one side of the mound, like Brad now is on the... And there's a hard line drive caught by the center fielder. That was a hard sinking line drive. And the center fielder, Zach, came in sliding, pinned it against his chest for a great catch. So here's Nick Wiz with Joel on deck. And again, I think if you're Future, you'd like to get out of this inning and maybe push out another run or two, as we have seen teams come back in the 7th. Line drive, short hop, second baseman, a couple of bounces, and they get him at first. Second baseman was playing basketball, bouncing it on the ground. Nick Wiz didn't like the call. Bang, bang, it goes Future's way. Again, we're a long way away. That was a tough one there. Might have beat that out. Here's Joel Alejandro.
Good start, Brad.
So I believe the Melrose feast is going on. And they're blowing off, somebody's blowing off firecrackers. It's not gunshots, folks. We're in a very safe area out here in Melrose. And they're doing a good job, man. They're taking down a lot of banners and stuff. So 2 outs, nobody on here for Meatball City. They're going to try to generate something. Little roller to the shortstop. Strong throw. And they get the third out. So we're going to head to the seventh, folks. One inning here to decide the national championship. I shouldn't say that. We could go extra innings, but 8-6 right now. Future. And they're going to have 3, 4, 5 coming up with Sean, Anthony, and Ryan. I don't believe they got anybody left on their bench because I think Kyle and Joey have both been in the ball game, if I'm not mistaken. Well, actually, they had 2 Joeys on the bench and Kyle because they only went with 10 in this game. So they might have one more move or substitution. And here comes Sean, going to try to start it off here in the 7th. And he hammers one. That'll sit in front of the center fielder, leadoff single for Sean. Brings up the shortstop, Anthony, with Ryan on deck. And again, just dropped it over the point for strike one. And there's a little weird spinner. Wise will throw him out at first. Another bang, bang call there. And we got a first out, but the runner did go to second. Now it's a 2-for-1 in terms of an opportunity to score a little insurance. And it brings up Ryan. He must have heard me ever since I made the comment in the first game about wearing my old number 21. He stepped it up a little bit.
Sean, liners through. We need you here. Now you go, Ryan. Get ready.
And there's a pitch. And there's a base hit, and that's going to score the 9th run. So the Future, they got a little ground ball that moved the runner in the scoring position, and Ryan hammers a line drive. And now let's see. I don't know if you want to. I'm not sure if they pinch ran for him before, but I believe Kyle pinch ran. So Ryan is going to be out of the ball game now. So Anthony on Meatball City is out of the game, and now, excuse me, Ryan is out of the ball game, and it brings up Bobby. Again, only one out here, and now it's 9-6. So Future in the 6th and now here in the 7th have picked up a run to push out a little bit and get some separation. And there's a ground ball to Rollins, and he'll take the play. Moves the guy into scoring position with 2 outs. And it brings up Lorenzo, the left fielder. So a base hit here would make it 10-6. They're playing him deep, so he should have no trouble scoring. Although we have seen a base runner in this game faceplant. And on deck is Zach, and he's been swinging it good too. So, and there's a sky-high fly ball. That'll be the 3rd out of the inning. And we're going to head to the bottom of the 7th. Do or die for Meatball City. They need 3 to stay, 4 to win the national championship. So we started on Thursday with 27 teams. We had games on 4 days. We whittled it down to these 2, and this is what it comes down to, the 7th inning of a 9-6 ball game. Meatball City having a little powwow, trying to fire themselves up. And I believe it's going to be Donnie Rollins, Donnie Cusper, and Tommy Nugent, the bottom third of the Meatball City. So now, if you're future, you're chasing outs. You don't want to do anything crazy. You don't want to let Meatball City get excited. You just want to make the simple routine play and count it down from 3, and you're a national champ.
Come on, Brad.
Looked like there was a ball there. Just nicked the tip of the point. And Rollins, big walk up, but he takes a strike. 1-1. And again, you're up 3 if you're Brad. Don't give him a free pass. Strike 2. So that's big now. Brad now has a lot of room here. And Rollins goes down and takes a flat pitch and just lifts it into center field for a leadoff hit. Now, if Cusper gets on, you'd have the tie in the box, and then you're dangerous if you're Meatball City. Now, this is a good example. Getting out here, you don't really have to worry about what happens with Donnie Rollins because his run doesn't mean anything. And you're chasing outs. You just don't want to put that tie in the box.
Good miss, Brad.
And I'd be surprised if Donnie swung before he had at least 1 strike, maybe 2. And there's a strike. So now we'll see. Brad's really not trying to fool anybody right now. He's just trying to stay consistent and not fall behind, and he gets strike 2. Now's the time, if you're Brad, you might want to take a shot at getting Donnie to maybe swing at something. And that wasn't that bad of a pitch. It just nicked the plate. Or it might have been strike 3. That was a pretty good pitch. Donnie Cusper showing the nerves of a cat burglar there, taking that pitch. And now he swings, and to short center with a tremendous catch. He climbs the ladder, caught the ball a little bobble, and the second time the short center's caught a line drive and flipped it to first for a double play.
Hey, 11 hitter, let's go.
So here's Tommy Nugent with 2 outs. Meatball City down to their last out here in this SSA Playing for Peace Class B National Championship Tournament.
Good start, Brad.
And if you're future, they got young guys now. It's hard to almost contain your enthusiasm because got the anticipation. And I got to say, Brad struggled today, but I got to tell you, in this inning, he's been throwing strikes and getting ahead. And again, it's, as a pitcher, strike 1 is your best friend. And Nugent hits a ground ball to short. This could be it. Pickup, and future comes back after losing the first championship game, and they beat Meatball City 9-6 to claim the 2021 Playing for Peace Class B National Championship. And we're going to get pictures of the teams, and we'll stay here with the trophy presentation. And they'll be out here hopefully taking pictures. Okay, guys, we're going to take some pictures, and we're going to have the MVP presentation. Can we get you guys at home plate? Because we'll eventually take a picture of you guys, okay? Meatball City at home plate, please. So there's Frank Arenas. So I tell you, we got some tired guys on both teams. 2 hard-fought, well-played games. You can see the nice SSA National Championship Series banner. Again, we are where the national champions play. Got the scoreboard in the background. A nice job. Like these uniforms. So Meatball City, you can see they got the second place trophy. Going to pick up some cash, and it's all good. So like I said, it was a great weekend for softball, highlighting some of the good young players in the game. And there's Pat Caputo. And now we're going to give the championship trophy to Future.
Yeah. Hey, it's a really good team right
So you can tell these guys, they all know each other. And Joe, get your team to home. Well, no, we're going to do the trophy first, right? Yeah, take the team picture. Come on, baby. You always do the MVP last. Hey, give them the hats. Well, give them to them. So they get championship hats, they get cash, they get a paid bid. Yeah, the SSA likes to gear up the winners where you give national championship hats. So they're going to take the pictures. Those are sharp, my friend. See if I can't zoom in on one of them. Got the nice SSA logo. They say Class B National Champion above the logo.
You guys got a second place hat?
So the perfect accessory to your uniform are national championship hats, baby. And a lot of these teams we saw this weekend will be in Carroll Stream. We're going to get an interview with Frank after we get done handing out hats and hardware. That's the one thing that we're real proud of here at the SSA. We love giving back to the teams, and that's the concept behind allowing the paid entries to move up so you can test yourself and see where you're at in your development. And there's a few more hats that they'll give to Joe Rogers and the rest of their group. And now they're going to take the picture. Where's the trophy? What, I got a video. I got a video and give these guys direction. Next, they're going to want me to sell popcorn. So if you want any more information on the SSA, make sure you like the page, tell your friends, and also you can email us at info@ssasoftball.com. You can follow us on Facebook by searching at SSA Softball. And we're very, very happy. And they're going to do a little bit of a ceremony as the tournament.
So every year we pick somebody from the community or from the world of softball that has contributed to the growth of the sport. And this year's recipient is Manny Sanchez Jr., known as Manny. Manny has developed the Harrison Park League for the past 30 years. His contributions to the sport have continued to grow the game of softball, specifically in the Pilsen Little Village, Brighton Park, back of the arts community. If you're from the south side of Chicago, you know Manny as someone who will bend over backwards for you. He's one of the most amazing persons I've ever met. And this year we honored it in his name. So thank you, Manny, for all your
And again, a lot of the areas that Frank just mentioned are the rougher parts of the city. And it's guys like Manny that run the leagues that helps get a lot of the kids off the streets. And, of course, Frank loves to do that because our theme is playing for peace. And so he's taking a picture now with the Future team. Man, those hats look good. So, everybody, and now we're going to do the MVP trophy. And very, very interesting. The MVP named after this guy, Jeff Hernandez. You might know him as Jibs. Jeff has had a big impact on Frank's life.
So this year we named the MVP trophy after someone that has really blossomed as a pitcher. He's one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best pitchers that I've ever seen play a sport of softball. If you don't know softball, you don't know flash softball, you know who Jibs is, then you need to come out here and get involved with the SSA. So this year's person that we named the MVP awards is Jeff Hernandez. So Jeff, if you want to say a couple words and present the award, please.
I'd like to thank you, first of all. This is a great honor. This gentleman here played great. I watched a few games and bright young future, right?
Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thank
You guys do a great job, Francisco, the SSA, Melrose, great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
It might be nice to give the kid's name, wouldn't it?
Sean Rizzaco.
Okay, there you go.
Hey,
So, Sean, before you walk away, I know talking to Joe Rogers, your coach, he was talking about it's the first tournament the Future's ever played in. So what do you think about this tournament softball?
You know, we love it. Honestly, we came out. This is the only tournament we've done so far, and honestly had a great time doing it. Played as a team, and I got really nothing else. Honestly,
A man of few words.
Looking forward to more. Honestly.
There you go. A young kid. He's still humble. Let's hope he stays that way. Number 88 on your lineup card, Sean, gets the MVP. So we're going to have a few words with Frank Arenas, and then we're going to wrap up our coverage. We'll have pictures up on the SSA Facebook page. And again, this is what it's all about, young kids playing the game. And it was a lot of fun all weekend. Hey, Frank, let's wrap this up. It's becoming an annual thing. We talk to you after we hand out the hardware. Again, playing for peace. You're doing a great job. What are your thoughts on the way out today?
Well, I'm definitely tired after spending 4 days at the park. But I think that next year we're going to increase the number of teams. We could have probably had 40 teams this year and maybe extend it to two different parks. So we're definitely looking to expand it. We've got a number of positive press in terms of the teams that have played and their involvement with the SSA. So next year, look for something to be bigger and brighter, and I'm excited to be part of the SSA.
There you go, Frank Arenas, a man of few words. Of course, Frank, legend on the west side. His nickname out there is Coach. Oh, hold on. He got a little more.
And before I get a text tonight, I want to thank every SSA board member and person that's affiliated with us whose contributions to this tournament have made it such a great success. Gio, you came out to our first one. Pat Caputo, Mickey Balestri, Ronnie, and everybody else is out here. George, Winslow, my guys on the Creator Softball. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys, and take care.
All right, and the real question is where we eat. So there you have it, folks. Another tremendous tournament. And what Frank was talking about next year was he really didn't advertise the tournament very much. He thought he was going to cut it off at about 16. Then he went to 20, and it ended up being 27. And he had to cut it off because we only had the two parks, the field here with two fields. So we're in the works. The SSA is getting these younger teams to jump in and participate. And like I said, the future is bright, and I think Pat Caputo now is going to give Joe Rogers the bracket board. So it's just a wonderful weekend out here in Melrose Park. So on behalf of Napleton, there's the guy, Manny. So on behalf of the SSA broadcast, and obviously Napleton Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lansing, we'd like to thank you for sticking with us all weekend, checking out the coverage. And, folks, we got big-time softball still to play this summer, and we'll be out at the Forest Park No Glove National Championship Tournament, 53rd edition, beginning on Tuesday with the playing games. 4 teams fighting for the last spot to get into that tournament, which will kick off Thursday night. So for SSA Broadcast, this is Gio saying we will see you and talk to you soon.